Good morning. Thank you for being with us on THV 11, streaming on THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen Fuller.
I'm Hayden Balgavy. Meteorologist Tracy Bean here, keeping us up to date with the extremely hot weather and, of course, the traffic, which is always my favorite shot of the morning. Right at about 6 a.m., right over there. I mean, 430 Bridge, Arkansas. It's Arkansas River's.
I know I show it a lot, but it's just the best shot, you know. Thanks to ARDOT for this one. Yeah, it's beautiful. And, you know, it makes you feel a little bit cooler out there, and it makes you think about, as we're heading into the weekend, there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be outside and enjoying, again, the water, lakes and those pools. And I'm going to have that blow-up pool, but that's okay. I'll take my blow-up pool. We are looking at a few clouds out there this morning, and temperatures are already a little bit warm as we are heading into the rest of the day. Of course, we're going to see those heat index values start to come into play. It is 74, which actually is a little bit cooler than what we've seen the last couple of days. We've had a bit of rain showers push through overnight. Very light and not even too measurable, but it did help things cool a little bit. But humidity still 91%, so it's still a bit muggy out there. This heat advisory is in effect through Saturday, in fact, but we do have our extreme heat warning for portions of the state as well. That's a bit of an uptick. So keep that in mind as you are heading out. We are looking at this hour-by-hour forecast today. Not too bad right now, but we will start to see that spread and that temperature and that heat index value even by 9 a.m. this morning. So make sure you're drinking that water as you're heading out the door.
Developing this morning, tenants at a Hot Springs housing complex are speaking out against harsh living conditions despite repeated requests for repairs. Now, city code enforcement records are adding to their complaints. Residents in Mountain View Heights say issues like pest infestations and repairs have gone unfinished for months. THV 11 spoke with one tenant who tells us she paid for pest control on her own dime after getting little response from management. THV 11 obtained more than 20 code enforcement reports from the city of Hot Springs, documenting complaints about rodents, roaches, overgrown grass, and other maintenance concerns, with several follow-up inspections noting no change.
Just because we live in this stuff does not mean that we deserve to live like this. We deserve respect. We deserve to be treated like we're people. We deserve to be heard. And this apartment complex, these management, does not care about hearing anybody.
Tenants have been advised to keep track of complaints and keep reporting them to Hot Springs Code Enforcement. We reached out to property management with questions, but they directed us to an out-of-state office. The Arkansas Department of Transportation is closing its central office tower today after recent air quality testing detected elevated asbestos particle levels in small numbers of samples. Now, officials say the results are likely linked to ongoing renovations that include asbestos removal. The building will remain closed while additional environmental testing is completed and any necessary cleanup is done. ARDOT says it has conducted independent air quality testing for years because of the building's age, and this is the first time those tests have raised concerns. The department says the closure is a precaution to protect employees until it is safe to return.
This morning, many people who use SNAP benefits are learning about the new restrictions on junk food and sugary drinks throughout Arkansas. The state is also rolling out new welfare to work mandates. But Goodwill Arkansas is helping people navigate the changes. THV 11's Tamer Knight shows us how.
Our mission is changing lives through education, training, and employment.
Goodwill Arkansas President and CEO Brian Marsh says the new welfare to work requirement aligns with the organization's mission. Goodwill employs more than 1,400 people across the state.
Goodwill is involved in the ABCs of work, a job, a better job, and a career. So how can someone move through that and we can be part of that success story?
Adults ages 19 to 64 enrolled in the Arkansas Health and Opportunity for Me or Our Home Medicaid program must work, volunteer, or attend school for at least 80 hours each month. Goodwill says it has the training, resources, and career services to help people meet those requirements.
There will be some challenges. People don't have skill sets for the jobs and for the work they're wanting to do. So what we can do is we can provide that training, the workforce training here at Goodwill.
The organization also partners with employers across Arkansas to connect job seekers with open positions.
We have career navigators at all of our locations that help people navigate a career and moving forward in a career path, finding work. They also help people with resume writing, with applying for jobs, and practice interviews, interview skills.
The Department of Human Services says it will begin running automated processes to determine whether beneficiaries are exempt, meeting or not meeting the new work and community engagement requirements. And Little Rock, Tamer Knight, THV 11 News.
Also this morning, Arkansas is highlighting a major push to streamline state government through its Forward initiative. Officials say the Arkansas Forward project has already identified more than $118 million in savings and avoided costs, with a long-term goal of reaching $300 million. That includes cutting unused employee assignments, moving offender payments online to reduce processing costs, and renegotiating contracts to expand child welfare services without new spending.
We're actually negotiating those contracts instead of just allowing them to go back into practice, making sure that whatever they say they are delivering, they are, and in many cases, we're adding additional services for no additional cost.
State leaders say the next phase focuses on consolidation, stronger contract oversight, and finding more efficiencies across agencies. Entergy Arkansas is holding an in-person customer care event statewide beginning Tuesday, July 7th. Eligible households can apply for the Summer Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, to help cover energy costs. You are to bring a driver's license or state ID, social security card, and proof of income. One of the events is set for July 10th. That one is in Little Rock at the Arkansas State Fairgrounds.
The NCAA is signaling it will not change its current policy on transgender athletes after this week's Supreme Court ruling that upholds state bans on their participation in school sports. NCAA President Charlie Baker says the organization is already following a clear national standard and does not see a need for further changes at the college level. He says the NCAA policy aligns with federal guidance put in place during the Trump administration, which restricts transgender women from women's teams. While state laws vary widely, the NCAA says it will maintain one uniform standard for college sports.
I had said to folks, Democrats and Republicans in Washington, after I got this job, that we needed some sort of clarity around what the national standard for this would be. And we adopted and comply with the standard that was put forth by the Trump administration.
Baker adds the goal is to reduce confusion and keep eligibility rules consistent across the board. He notes very few college athletes are impacted directly, but the issue continues to draw national attention. Well, speaking of national attention, a daring stunt high above New York City is raising serious safety and security questions.
A couple illegally climbed the Empire State Building, apparently for a marriage proposal. And now investigators are looking into how they got to that restricted area. CBS correspondent Jared Hill has the story.
This is all happening at the Empire State Building at the top of the spire.
From a death-defying proposal.
He just proposed to her.
To a sky-high arrest.
I'm okay.
Two Russian daredevils had eyes the world over locked on one of America's most iconic landmarks Wednesday when they scaled the nearly 1,500-foot Empire State Building.
This is an area off limits to the general public, typically a highly restricted area.
The couple, identified as 33-year-old Angelina Nicolau and 32-year-old Ivan Kuznetsov, both living in New Jersey, unfurled a banner reading, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace," and posted pictures on social media before body cam video shows officers taking the pair into custody.
Of course, security is amazing, but it's definitely a bit concerning as somebody who works here.
They were waving down, like they were just kind of standing there, like peering over.
The self-proclaimed Russian roof-toppers are known for climbing other tall buildings and were featured in a 2024 Netflix documentary called Skywalkers, a love story. As the investigation continues, a big question: how'd they get up there in broad daylight? One woman says she saw it all happen from the skyscraper's observation deck.
They opened the gate and they went up to the top.
So somebody said, oh, are you allowed up the top? And he said, the security guard said then, no, nobody's allowed up the top.
The duo now faces multiple charges, including burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal trespassing. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
And their wedding behind bars. All right, let's go to meteorologists Tracy Bean and George and find out what the forecast is to help you plan your hot day.
Yeah, we've got our sunny with a chance of George forecast, and I've got Domino, who lives in Conway, here to help me out. Domino's looking for some cooler weather, and I'm afraid, Domino, we're going to have to exercise a little caution more than anything and avoid all of that asphalt and concrete. We are, again, seeing Domino from Conway and looking at that bit of a yellow paw forecast as we start things off, and then we go to red, and that, of course, is because of the temperatures that asphalt and concrete and those heat index values will get into those triple digits. 105, 106 today. So very important. Again, we are just taking that into consideration. And George here wants to make sure that you know these pet safety tips. We are going to see just making sure we got plenty of water. And with the fireworks coming up, don't forget to make sure your chip is registered. That's important. If you don't have that, ID tags are on your pet. And taking a look at traffic this morning, it is just 6:10 on the dot. We are in Sherwood, and you can see that flag. It is not flying. It's because we have no wind out there, so it's a bit stuffy, friends. We've got folks coming in from, again, Sherwood, Jacksonville, Cabot, BB area, and it's moving smoothly. So take your time this morning. No accidents and no delays.